Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and it's such an honor to be with you today, and Congressman Spear and Lawrence as well, and all of the distinguished speakers here today and everyone here. I was told I have a minute and a half, so I'm going to take 2.5 minutes. The Speaker just addressed this. Equal Pay Day. It is March 15th, 2020. March 15th, 2020. And in this country, we still have inequities when it comes to pay. And when you look at the numbers from white women to black women to Latino women, those numbers even get worse. And as mayor of the city of Boston, we started to address this issue by bringing people to the table, by bringing employers to the table to say we need to address it. I know there's lots of legislation, and I was a state rep before I was the mayor, and I was in the legislature 16 years, and I think I voted probably 6 times on equal pay legislation. When it's not that complicated, then employers should recognize pay women the same as you pay men for the same job. That's the bottom line. And we're going to talk a little bit about benefits here as well today. I want to thank some of the press for being here today, but I wish we had more press here today. Because if we're at this podium for another issue, this room will be packed with cameras and reporters. Because in the media, in some cases, women reporters get paid less than men reporters. So we need to make sure that this issue was once and for all addressed. Women's History Month is an opportunity to learn about and celebrate women who have made impacts on this nation, something that's really important for us to do. Many of the key leaders and women in this room are the people we should be celebrating. I just want to take a moment to thank all the women in this room for all the work you do, particularly in public service, in the private sector as well, to help American people. I have to do this because it's really important. The Women's Bureau at the Department of Labor published a report. It's called Bearing the Cost of How Overrepresentation in Undervalued Roles Hurt Women During the Pandemic. I want to thank our director, Wendy Chung-Hoon, who's here with us today, and her team at the Women's Bureau who's with us today, and everyone in the department who worked on this report who did some amazing work. It's not just about the impact of a pandemic. It's about how low pay and limited opportunities left women vulnerable and continue to leave women vulnerable, especially women of color in this country. These injustice has been created over many decades. This isn't something new, and we can't blame the pandemic for it, because we could have done the report 3 years ago on something else, and the report's going to say the same thing. Women continue to be overrepresented in low-paying, low-quality jobs, especially in the care sector. Many lack access to paid leave, protections to take care of their own families. So at the Department of Labor, we continue to fight with women and for women in the workforce. We are identifying the needs and advocating for solutions for women and other vulnerable workers all across this country, so we create an inclusive economy that works for everyone. I'm not going to go too much into this. We need to invest in child care. We need to invest in elder care. Women are disproportionately working in those industries. We need to build pathways for women into good-paying, high-quality jobs dominated by men, like the building trades, which I come out of. Our Good Job Initiative is working across sectors in government here to make sure that all the cabinets and all the secretaries are working collectively together. Congress is going to talk today, and they've done some amazing work. We have a Speaker of the House who is leading the way in this country for equality for women in pay in every other way. It's an honor for me to be standing here with the Congressman. President Biden and Vice President Harris are pushing to remove barriers for caregiving and improving the well-being of many women working in the cares economy. I'm excited to be partnering with all of you here today. I want to thank you all for the work you do. I want to give a shout out to Boston. We have an office of everyone laughs when I do that because I do it every single time I speak. But we have a Women's Bureau in Boston too. Office of Women's Advancement. When I became the mayor of Boston, we had what was called the Women's Commission. And we thought to ourselves, well, it's great to have a women's commission, but we need to do more than that. So we started to look about taking commission turn into an office, and we created the Office of Women's Advancement, because that's what it was all about. I want to thank the work in all across this country. I want to thank all of you standing here. Paid leave for all, I completely agree with you. Thank you for wearing the buttons today. And it's an honor for me. I went too far over because the speaker staff's over here sweating right now, get Marty Walsh away from the microphone. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to the next speaker here, who's also been a champion, Democratic Women's Caucus Chair, Congressman Jackie Spear.